Yep.
Do you know the Gettysburg Address?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Thursday, April 27th full board meeting of the Macomb County Board of Commissioners. First item on the agenda is Pledge Allegiance. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
No.
We have roll call. Please indicate your presence on your computer. Good. Is everybody here? Is everybody here? Okay. Okay. Item number 4, invocation. Invocation is by Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Thank you, Chair. I have a loud voice, so you will hear me when okay. We often take each other for granted, living our lives and thinking little of community. Community is just a thing that's there, and we don't think much about it. Our community provides an essential safety net. It helps many of us in times of loss or personal struggle. Community brings us together and makes neighbors of us, and community enhances the lives of everyone. Today, we honor individuals who have not taken community for granted. We honor the individuals who make community thrive and who step outside of their everyday lives to help others. We ask for blessings on all these individuals, regardless of religion or any other affiliation, and we thank everyone for their service. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Item number 5, we need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Carabelli,
Support.
second by Toko. All in favor, please vote.
Oh, yeah.
No. Nope.
He said please vote for him, by the way.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion passes to adopt the agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I may, seems that some of the microphones on this side, mine's on, can't shut it off.
Mine too.
Okay,
So there's a problem with some of the microphones.
yes.
Technology has did it to us again.
The one we would want off will not shut off. I don't even have it on, so here we go. Some more glitches, right, sitting here. Item number 6 is the presentation of the 2017 Green Advocate Award. Macomb County Green Schools Program celebrated its 9th year recently. For those of you who don't know, Michigan Green Schools Program is an initiative that aims to encourage students to learn more about energy efficiency, ecology, and environmental stewardship practices through fun and interactive exercises. We've had our program here in place for 9 years. 10 years is coming up next year. We're going to have a lot of exciting things happening next year. For students in the Green Schools program, it enhances their education, provides a glimpse of real-world problem solving, and even showcases potential career paths in environmental, public service, and other sectors. As I mentioned, this program has been in place for 9 years, and originally we had 24 schools that it started off. This year we had 125 schools earn the official Michigan Green School status. Of those schools, 11 of them started with us. All 125 schools have recycling programs, and all 125 schools have energy efficient activities in place, meaning that they're all saving resources and money. Our program wouldn't be a success without the efforts of the teachers and the advocates and the students. And after realizing year after year we would see the same names come to us, we realized that some of the people really go above and beyond. And because of that, we decided it would be a good idea to create a new award, the Green Advocate Award. We asked for nominations from all the schools for people who went above and beyond the call of duty or have made exceptional contributions to preserving the environment. We received nominations of students, teachers, staff, parents, and other volunteers. But one of these nominations stood out above the rest. I'd like to invite Mr. Kevin Bai forward to receive the inaugural, easy for me to say, Green Advocate Award. Kevin? Congratulations. So Kevin's nomination came from students involved in Chippewa Valley High School, my alma mater, by the way. We asked for brief nominations, but I have to say this one was quite lengthy due to all the things that you've done. After reading through the submission, it's clear that Kevin's not only a classroom teacher devoted to educating students about ecology and the environment, but he's an innovator of programming, and he inspires these students to be ecologically progressive. He's an implementer of Keep Michigan Beautiful statewide, Keep It Clean and Green program at Chippewa Valley High School. CVHS is currently the only school in Macomb County which participates in this program. Kevin oversees the many activities of the CVHS Ecology Club. He conducts CVHS schoolyard spring and fall cleanup by groups such as the Key Club and the Eco Club. He's taught perennial plant selection, layout, installation, maintenance of 4 student school gardens, including the principal's garden with its native plants. He applies for grants and has won 3 awards for the gardens planted at CVHS. I could go on, but Mr. Bai has been a great example for leadership in environmental education. I'm happy to present you with this award, Kevin. Thank you very much. Oh, man. So here you go, Kevin. There you go. Wow. Thank you. I think we have, would you like to say a few words? You don't have to. Okay.
I know there's a lot on the agenda here, so I'll keep it extremely brief. Just thank you very much, everyone. And, this isn't just about me. This is really accepted on behalf of the district. We have 16 of 20 schools on board now. It's just wonderful. On behalf of Chippewa Valley High School and our students and staff and really our whole community, that's what this is all about. It's not just about me. So thank you very much.
Thank you. There you go. Put it right back in here.
That's gorgeous. Thank you. I'm
thank
stunned.
you. Here you are. Well, be careful. It's heavy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You have a great evening.
Thank you. You too. All right. With that over, we're going to do proclamations. We need a motion to receive or adopt the proclamations forwarded from Finance. Commissioner Carabelli moves to forward them in their entirety, supported by Commissioner Sager. All please vote on your iPads. Great. Jim. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Now to what the rest of us are here for. Moving on to the main event. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Smith. I'm the chairman of the board of the Macomb County Commissioners. I'd like to welcome everyone here for the annual Volunteer Recognition Night. This evening, we're going to honor some of the most outstanding members of our community, volunteers. Can everybody hear me, by the way? All right, good. Great. I don't know if that was from one of our honorary board members back there or not, but I know who it was from.
From my IT professional.
Andre, if you'd like to take your spot over there.
I'm trying to get there.
So, who are these volunteers and what is volunteer work? Volunteering, by definition, is generally considered an altruistic activity through which an individual or group provides services for no financial gain to benefit another person, group, or organization. Volunteering can help skill development, promote goodness, and it's been said to improve the quality of life. Think about it. The more we give, the happier we feel. Volunteering increases self-confidence. You do good for others in the community, you feel a natural sense of accomplishment. And volunteering gives a sense of pride and identity. Not only that, volunteers are the most important resources community organizations have. You can't put a price on the value of people working together towards the betterment of our community. Volunteer service and involvement is vital to the development of strong community, which is why we're here. Service is the way, in this way, teaches people of all ages and backgrounds about each other, promotes understanding and compassion, and can be used as a great way to advocate for causes that are important to all of us. We have 61 volunteers here from all corners of the county to be honored tonight. They were nominated because over the course of the past year, they have all donated at least 150 hours to helping others, doing things like assisting the elderly, the homeless, supporting children's learning, veterans programs, and providing companionship, and working to clean our shared environment. Organizations that utilize volunteers couldn't exist without them. We want to acknowledge you and thank you and let you know that your efforts are deeply appreciated. So now we'll publicly recognize your contributions. We are so happy that you could attend this, and we're so happy to actually be able to thank you for everything that you do. So what we're going to do is, when your name is called, we're going to read why you were nominated so everybody has an idea of what you're here for. Please step up. The first district will be Commissioner Duget's district, Commissioner District 1. Please step up, stay up here until your district is done, and then we're going to have a little picture group opportunity out in the hallway, and then we'll go to District 2. So that being said, District 1, our first person is Carol Robinson.
Carol Robinson. Although Carol's children have moved on from Westview Elementary School, she continues to volunteer her time and her energy to assist students. She makes sure that everyone is greeted upon the start of the day, and she assists in the office staff as they're busy. Carol makes sure that all notifications are distributed in a timely manner, and that Carol escorts all new students. This is what she does to their classrooms. She ensures that they feel comfortable and welcome in the school. She is a value asset to Westview community.
Great. Thank you. Next is Debbie Cormier. Debbie, are you here? Oh, I don't have her. I thought I had her checked in. Well, Debbie Cormier, over the past 8 years, has spent every Monday volunteering her time reading at Immaculate Conception schools. That's what her volunteer work was for. Next is Marie Zaricki. Marie? No, that's what she told me. They would stop right there. Marie Zaricki.
As a member of the Ukrainian National Women's League of America and the Ukrainian American Civic Committee, Maria's dedicated leadership and selflessness activities in the Ukrainian community. She has devoted many hours to assisting the elderly of the Ukrainian village and arranging accommodations and providing free medical treatment for those wounded soldiers who arrive in the United States from war-torn Ukraine. So they may get the proper medical treatment. In addition, she works towards ensuring that the Holodomor, a man-made famine in Ukraine from 1932 to 33, is included in Michigan Public Schools Society studies curriculum. Although the Holocaust and the American genocide, Maria's efforts to better the Ukrainian community are vital and valued.
I gave Jim all the tough ones. Stacy Mash. Stacy, please go up. As a volunteer for Ruse Elementary School, Stacy puts in countless hours for their students. She plans a student function at least once a month, from trunk or treat to winter blast to Earth Day to spring blast. It makes each event better and better. She also finds time to plan activities to make after-school fun for each of their students. She runs the PTC meetings and always puts money back into the school items. Thinking about students first, Stacy is a true gift to Ruse and helps in so many ways. They, as well as the Ruse community, are lucky to have her. Now, group applause. This District 1, thank you very much. Great. Marv. Great. Here you go, start with Marv. District 2 is next, Marv Sauger. Hi, Marv. Go for it. Start reading now.
David Galley.
David, oh, there he is.
David has volunteered for 16 years at the Detroit Institute of Art, giving his time and talent to the museum in countless ways. As an interpretive program volunteer, David conducts tours of the DIA's collections and delivers art-themed talks to community groups. He is committed to learning and sharing his knowledge with others. He trains in virtually every type of tour specialized exhibits at the DIA offers. Over the last year alone, he has served 560 hours and delivered more than 175 tours, talks, and presentations inside and outside of the museum.
Donald Martindale. Donald, I know you're here. There you are. As a Learning Center volunteer for the Detroit VA Medical Center, Donald helps to connect veterans from Macomb, Wayne, and Oakland counties with community resources. He has served in this capacity for more than 23 years and has assisted countless veterans and family members in the Detroit metro area. Managing information at the Detroit VA Hospital's Patient Learning Center, as well as helping veterans navigate resources and aligning them with benefits, are two of the major tasks Donald dedicates hours to accomplish. He is always willing and able to counsel and advise homeless veterans and connect them with health care, clothing, employment, and homes. Thank you, Donald.
Chris Denault. Chris has been a volunteer at Peck Elementary for over 3 years. He is committed to safety of not only the students, but of the stakeholders. He volunteers daily in the rain, sleet, snow, manning the students' drop-off zone. He is ensuring that every child entering the building safely. Chris is willing to volunteer in any capacity needed at the school, whenever his schedule permits.
Thanks, Chris. Might as well clap up for everyone. Vern Friend. Is Vern here? Yeah. Oh, hi, Vern. Vern has served 2 different Lions clubs since 1999. He's worked with bingo for both clubs, as well as helping other service organizations run their bingos. You can slide right behind me. He has served in various roles for the Sterling Heights Lions Club for the past 10 years. He's also delivered meals as a volunteer for Meals on Wheels. Vern's a great example of the motto of the Lions Club International: we serve. Thank you, Vern. Stay with us.
Next, we have Ken Mukol. Ken? As a Meals on Wheels volunteer, Ken has visited homebound adults, older adults, with hot, nutritious meals and a friendly smile. He takes this task very seriously, and he notifies the office when a participant does not answer the door so that emergency contacts may be called. He is a trained MMAP, Medicare, Medicaid Assistant Program counselor, and volunteers with skills with Macomb Community Action and Area Aging on 1B. Through these programs, with these organizations, Ken provides information and application assistance to older adults in both Medicare and Medicaid.
Thank you, Ken. Let's have a hand for our volunteers from District 2. Thank you. District 3, Veronica Kleinfeld.
Is Deanna Howell here?
Is Deanna here? Oh, no Deanna? You gotta come through. You can come through. Oh, we'll let you through.
Mark Armstrong.
Hey, come move this forward. Thanks, Mark. Oh, all right. There, Veronica, come on through. Yeah, I know, that's fine. There you go. Undo Mark.
Mark runs the Avalon Elementary School Walking Club every morning before school, both indoors and outdoors. With his help, students walk or jog on a path outdoors or inside the gym, and they receive recognition based on the distances that they have accumulated throughout the school year. His presence during the morning is paramount, especially since it's the most popular time among the walking club participants. Mark's efforts grant students access to fresh air and exercise before school and has a positive impact on their attitude towards the start of their school day. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Jean Quest. Is Jean here? Jean. Come. Hi, Jean. Jean has assisted with Macomb Community Action's tax preparation service by setting appointments for the collaborative effort, which also includes the Accounting Aid Society and Veteran Services. She volunteered for 7 years at the Hope Center, retrieving several hundred messages daily and returning calls to schedule tax appointments, answer basic tax law questions, provide detailed information regarding the documents to bring to an appointment, and to be a friendly listening ear. With her calm demeanor, she's made tax preparation process much less stressful for the clients and the collaborating organizations as well. Thanks, Jean.
Estelle Lolias? Yes, ma'am. As a lifetime member of Assumption Church, Estelle has volunteered in many capacities, spending many years leading seniors in moderate and chair exercise classes initiated in conjunction with Senior Expo. She is now in her 23rd year. She has taught thousands of seniors over the years, and her dedication to the colosomatic exercise program and its students. She has also helped stroke victims to recover and surgery patients to increase mobility. Currently, Estelle is donating her time with seniors with the mailings and merits of projects of services of the church and the community. She has even found time to volunteer in an adult literacy program for the foreign-born. She has impacted our community in their lives to make them healthier and happier lives. Thank you very much, Estelle.
And thank you, District 3 volunteers. Joe. Hey. All right, District 4, Commissioner Joe Romano's district. I believe we could probably make it around the other side there.
Pauline Boso.
Oh, there we are.
Pauline joined St. John's Macomb Oakland Hospital, Warren campus as a volunteer in 2002, and she has donated over 3,100 hours ever since. Whether it is in the administrative role, helping with the much-needed surgery packets, crocheting for cancer patients, or as part of the very active clothes closet, she always makes a difference to help prepare for the hundreds of patients that use the clothes closets annually. She makes sure that they have casual clothes, coats, socks, shoes, and their needed essentials for the hospital population who are discharged without those needed items. Pauline meticulously keeps shelves stocked and straightened for the many visitors. She is willing to shop if items are needed and even willing to come in on an extra day to keep the closet ready. Thank you, Pauline.
Rose Lolito. Is Rose here? Oh, hi, Rose. There you go. Let you through. For the past 7 years, Rose has volunteered at the Henry Ford Macomb Coffee Bar. Not only does she cover her shift, but she always takes in additional shifts when needed. The commitment, warmth, and selflessness that she shows to each and every person makes her a standout volunteer. Her co-workers love to work with her, and her kindness radiates to the patients, staff, and visitors. Rose exemplifies compassion. When she speaks about volunteering, she considers herself to be fortunate to serve, but the people she interacts with each day consider it their good fortune to know her. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Malcolm McDougall? Malcolm McDougall? No. Paul Olson? No, Pete. I'm sorry. Pete? His name's Pete. Thank you, Peter. As a volunteer for the American Legion Post 351 in Utica, Peter performs the semi-annual flag retirement ceremony, assisting Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts in learning the proper way to dispose of the American flags. Some of his other volunteer contributions including cooking the annual fish fry, helping fix the electrical problems at the post, performing the duties of the commander at all post member funerals, and posting flags at the funeral home. Finally, as Sergeant at Arms of the post, Paul preserves order at all the meetings. Peter preserves order at all the meetings and is in charge of the ceremony advancing the retiring of the colors of all the post meeting. His contributions to the posts are invaluable. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you to District 4 volunteers. Rob. Moving on to District 5. Hey, Rob.
Commissioner Myjack.
There you go. Come on, Rob. Come on. We have to do this often. Come on, Rob. Come on, get over there. Yeah. Margaret Gowell.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
It's Margaret Gowell. Oh, right behind you. All right. Gaywell. I'm sorry.
Margaret, for the last 9 years, has been a hardworking member of the Christmas Market Planning Committee, responsible for the pottery displays and mini tree silent auction at the Anton Art Center. She also works at the Anton Art Center Installation Committee and shares her writing skills as a contributor to the centerpiece. The Anton Art Center's newsletter, she is every organization's favorite type of volunteer because when she agrees to do something, it is done and done good. Margaret is an effective team leader and as well as a valued member of the team. Thank you, Margaret.
Kathleen Huberling. Kathleen, did I get that close? All right, Huberling. You knew who I was talking about. Kathleen not only volunteers her time at Grabner Elementary School, but she also serves as a guest teacher, school photographer, lunch supervisor, and she works in any other area needed to support the school. She's a community-minded self-starter and gets along very well with students, teachers, principals, and external stakeholders. Kathleen is an asset to the school and larger community. Thank you very much.
Pamela Arshing.
Pamela here? No. All right.
Gary Clark. Mr. Clark, as a high school youth leader, shows young adults at Christ Lutheran Church a willingness to teach and guide them along their faith journey. In a broader community, he worked alongside those same youth in an outreach program during the ELCA National Youth Gathering in Detroit. During this event, thousands of youth gathered together to help build up the D during the week of activities. Without Gary as a caring and supportive guide, these young adults could not have experienced the thrill of being part of the change the city needs. His involvement has helped shape the hearts and minds of all of our future leaders. Thank you, Gary.
Oh, is Richard Assad here? Richard? Nope. How about Bethany Honer? Is Bethany here? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our District 5 volunteers, thank you very much. Oh, District 6, you can go over. I'll read yours. All right. Next, we'll move on to District 6, which is Commissioner Carabelli's district. Thank you. Lori Georges. Lori? Thanks. Lori has volunteered numerous hours to help sort and organize donations made to Turning Point for the benefit of victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. These donations make sure survivors have all their basic needs met and is an essential part of the Turning Point agency. Without the dedication and passion Lori gives to Turning Point, the organization could truly not do the work that they do. Turning Point is at the level they are today in their commitment to survivors and their families because of Lori's efforts. Thank you, Lori. Sandra Tornberg. Sandra? Hi, Sandra. Sandra has been at the driving force behind many successful programs at the Italian American Cultural Society. Well, it's fitting Mr. Carabelli is her commissioner. Even before she became the group's president, she's responsible for bringing new programs and culture into the Italian American Cultural Center, not only for the benefit of its members, but also for the larger community. She works tirelessly to help enrich the society as well as the membership, and is personally at every single IACS event. Since she speaks Italian fluently, she has helped many Italians with language difficulties to find the help that they need. Sandra makes the IACS better for all. Oh, you're going to make me say this. Molte grazie. Thank you. Thank you. It's our District 6 volunteers. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Next, we have District 7, Commissioner Don Brown. Is Susan Gaynor here? Susan? No. Dave Pierce. Dave Pierce? There's Dave. Dave. Since 2010, Dave has provided relentless support in promoting and growing the Boy Scout Troop number 87 and Venture Crew 87. As committee chairman, he has supported the youth of our community through a robust program focusing on life skills, leadership, and community service. Dave is always available to ensure that registrants, insurance, advancement, and all the required paperwork at the event coordination is in order, and he sees to it that youth members and adult volunteers are properly trained to follow the aims and principles of Scouting. Dave has put in countless hours coordinating multiple community service projects for youth members' participation. Dave, thank you. See Carla's here.
Carla Vizzacaro.
All right, Dave Price, you are our District 7 volunteer. Thank you. Great. District 8 next is Commissioner Phil Kraft. Start us off.
Robert Clearout. Robert here?
Planning season in North Bend.
Robert has volunteered thousands of hours over the last 12 years to help struggling Macomb families, many of those with loved ones with disabilities. Robert organizes several hundred Kensington Church volunteers every year to make home repairs, deliver food and clothes. And he also organizes the furniture bank, delivering and picking up of furniture as needed. He has helped families all year round, especially when they have an emergency need. He also sends many donors to the Macomb Oakland Regional Center. One of the biggest accomplishments, has been helping to bring Forgotten Harvest food donations to many Macomb families on a monthly basis. Thank you, sir.
John Herzog. Is John here? Oh, there he is. He's at the front row. John has been a member of the Chesterfield Beautification Committee and Tree Board for the past 6 years and has served as recording secretary for the past 4. He's a key member and supporter of various beautification projects across Chesterfield. John has maintained the beautiful flower beds at Brandenburg Park and the township offices. He's a key contributor to the Beautification Week programs in May of every year, and he's also responsible for the Christmas bridge decorations. John's involvement has made an exceptional impact on the goal to make Chesterfield a greener and brighter place to live. Thanks, John.
And now we have another Herzog, Marlene.
Should have called her first.
Marlene has been a member of the Chesterfield Beautification Committee a lot longer than her husband. No, I just threw that in there. I apologize. I was ad-libbing. In a tree board for the past 5 years, and she has served the Beautification Committee historian. She holds the responsibility of recording and maintaining detailed accounts of the committee's present activities and those over the past 53 years. Marlene is a key member and supporter of the planning and maintenance programs at the township parks and offices. She has lent her strength and skills to every project that the committee has taken on. Marlene is also making an exceptional impact on the goals to make Chesterfield a greener and brighter place to live. Thank you, Marlene.
Geraldine Kelly. Geraldine. All right. Geraldine Kelly's daughter. All right. Geraldine has been a part of the Anchor Bay Community Giving Tree and has served as a vice president for the past 9 years. She always puts everyone else before herself and is a very selfless giving person. Jerry makes the needs of others her priority. She has been a vital part in helping organize the distributions at Christmas with fundraisers and getting volunteers and in obtaining donations for various events. Thank you, Geraldine. Christine. Good job. We're still thanking Geraldine.
Christine Lewandowski. As a new volunteer at the parade company, Christine has earned the title of Volunteer Rock Star, usually helping out the art studio with her mom. She helps paint and builds floats as well as cleans the studio. Whatever the task, she never ever complains. In fact, after completing a task, Christine usually asks, is there anything else that she can help with? During the parade season, Christine helped with the Big Head events, which involved driving and fueling the trucks for the parade, and she helped to offload the costume cases afterwards. Christine always maintains a cheerful and helpful attitude. Thank you, Christine.
Is Wayne Nemeth here? Wayne? No Wayne? Well, then thank you very much, District 8 volunteers. Thank you. Next, we have District 9, who is Commissioner Elizabeth Lucido. Is Jody Fisher here? Show Jody? No. Renee Paul Knight.
Renee Paul Knight. Just in 2016, Renee donated more than 620 hours of her time at the Macomb County Animal Control. Her dedication stretches from coming in early as 8 a.m. and some days staying till 3. Renee's talents and time are devoted to tasks ranging from walking dogs, socializing them, giving them baths, picking up the outside yard, building and repairing kennels, beds, and performing any other carpentry work needed. Renee cleans dishes and does laundry, and she sets up and assists at adoption events, fundraising, and vendor opportunities. The animal shelter is very fortunate to have Renee as a volunteer. Thank you, Renee.
Kenneth Coaster. Kenneth? Oh, there he is. Ken's volunteer efforts span across a variety of organizations. He donates countless hours to Trout Unlimited, doing river cleanup and restoring and repairing angler access sites. Ken also donates his time to Macomb Habitat for Humanity, doing any tasks that are needed and helping other volunteers learn to properly use tools and perform work. Ken is here on behalf of himself and a whole team of volunteers who have been working throughout the winter on advancing Macomb's East Side Bike Drive. Ken and the group sort and repair donated bicycles so they can be given to needy families. Thank you, Ken.
Sarah Ridlin. Sarah?
She in the upper row? No. Nope.
Christine Volin? Oh, yeah. Which one is it? Christine? Okay. Christine is one of the best of the best. In the St. Peter's Catholic Church community's eyes, her cheerfulness, willingness to help, reliability, and welcoming disposition are a vital part of the program. She has volunteered in many ways, including as a Bible study aide, RCIA aide, coffee and donut volunteer, Christmas giving tree coordinator, grief support group aide, McRest team leader, veteran support group member, euchre tournament kitchen assistant, sacristan and St. Peter's Altar Society member. Christine successfully wears many hats at the St. Peter Catholic Church, and everyone there appreciates everything that she does. Thank you.
Kathy Uroda. Is Kathy? There you are, Kathy. For more than 8 years, Kathy has been volunteering at the Macomb Food Program. Working as a recreation therapist, Kathy brought patients who suffered brain injuries to the warehouse to help box food and to distribute to hungry people. This cognitive therapy helped these individuals learn valuable skills such as problem solving, coordination, socializing, and more. Despite some personal health battles, Kathy still prioritizes volunteer activities and arrives with a smile and positive attitude. Kathy spreads optimism, cheer, and her smile never fails to brighten everyone's day. Thank you, Kathy.
Ann Millotter. For many years, Ann has been getting up early and dutifully showing up to volunteer on the Meals on Wheels program. She has been described by others as the reliable one and the dependable one. Besides from having 5 children of her own at home and working as a nurse technician at Mount Clemens General Hospital, Ann always finds time to give of herself to others. Ann is a valued member at the Meals on Wheels, and her time and effort is appreciated by all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. You're next. Sherry Lawfield. Sherry is a selfless person who is the founder and president of the Anchor Bay Community Giving Tree. She helped her daughter and friends start this charity in 1999. Sherry's influence is one of the biggest reasons that the ABCGT is the organization it is today. Under her guidance and with Sherry's help, this organization has expanded from only helping a couple families in 1999 to helping over 80 families in 2016. As one of the main organizers of all the events, Sherry does a lot of behind-the-scenes work, especially around Christmas time. Sherry's focus is always on the ABCGT, and she has made a positive impact on her community. Thank you, Sherry. Ladies and gentlemen, our District 9 volunteers. Thank you. Oh, what happened? Oh, we called her. Did we miss it? Oh, Susie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Susie Ridley. Oh, where's Susie? Oh, I'm sorry. Here, go ahead. Susie here. What's yours?
Susie Ridland
It happens in this new system.
has assisted the Macomb Community Action Tax Preparation Services by setting appointments for the collaborative efforts, which also includes the Accounting Aid Society and Veteran Services. She has volunteered for 7 years at the Hope Center, retrieving several hundred messages daily, and returning calls to schedule tax appointments, answer basic tax law questions, provide detailed information regarding the documents to bring to an appointment, and to be as friendly and have a listening ear. With her calm demeanor, she had made the tax preparation process much less stressful for clients and the collaborative organization as well. Thank you, Susie.
Now, the District 9 volunteers, thank you. Hey, why'd you take my...
Timothy Bouguet.
District 10 next.
Is Timothy here?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Timothy has been donating his service for more than 25 years, putting in more than 2,500 man-hours to assist the Macomb County Sheriff's Mounted Division. Timothy helps the Mounted Division to bring the horse force when called by the sheriff for a detail or parade. He exemplifies the character, intelligence, and discipline needed to react and perform the duties requested by the members of the Sheriff Office Mounted Division. The Sheriff Mounted Division is proud and honored to have you as a fellow mounted deputy. Thank you, Timothy.
Carolyn Johnson. Carolyn, there she is. Carolyn has been the backbone of the Macomb Warming Center for the Homeless in St. Clair Shores for the past 18 years. Carolyn not only started this organization, she has managed it from February 1st through March of each and every year. She works with volunteer service organizations to obtain food and clothing, conducts a garage sale in the summer months to raise funds, and works in the open days of service Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for up to 9 hours each day. Carolyn also works on the off days to prepare meals in advance. Under her guidance, the Warming Center is able to offer the homeless breakfast, showers, clothing, prayers, dinners, lunches to go, and bus tickets. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. What, this is district? Yeah. Thank you to our District 10 volunteers. Next will be District 11, Kathy Toko's, Commissioner Toko. Hold on. Go ahead.
Is Robert Dadia here? Can you come up, sir? Robert has served as a Marine Safety Officer with the Macomb County Sheriff's Office Marine Division for the past 5 years, and he has accumulated more than 1,581 hours in service to the citizens of Macomb County. Robert serves as a force multiplier for the Marine Patrol on Lake St. Clair. He has given unselfishness of his time, company resources, and expertise to assist the Marine Division in achieving its goals of boater safety, education, and saving lives. Robert never hesitates to give of his time, any detail that may come up, and is truly a go-to guy. He has served as a crew member on a patrol on Lake St. Clair, staffed public education booths at various events, assisted in boater safety classes across Macomb County, and responded in the middle of the night to assist members of the Sheriff's Office during a search and rescue event. Thank you, Robert.
Robin Malik. Robin? Great. Robin truly models the description of, it's more blessed to give than receive, and as a volunteer, she embodies it. She has served as a volunteer chaplain in the Macomb County Jail for more than 15 years, mentoring, conducting one-on-one meetings, and leading Bible studies. Together with her husband, Robin has co-founded 3 transitional homes while caring for additional family members within their home. At Bethesda Christian Church, Robin runs a Christ-centered 12-step program. Her selflessness service is exemplary of a great volunteer. Thank you, Robin.
Sandra Bauer. Sandra is a volunteer founder and director of Vets Returning Home in Roseville. She is instrumental in the design, implementation, and delivery of services, food, clothing, housing, health, and job assistance to Macomb County Armed Forces veterans. For those who have borne the scars of war in the defense of America's freedom, this charity sets a high bar for helping American sons and daughters as they move from transition to independence. With these efforts, Sandra not only helps the armed forces, but also fills an important gap for our county, state, federal agencies in meeting veterans' needs. Thank you, Sandra.
Amy Plosinski. Amy? Oh, there you are. Hi. As a parent volunteer at Mark Twain Elementary School in Roseville, Amy provides a bright spot, encouragement with her smile, helpful attitude, and laughter. She immerses herself in the school community during and beyond the school day. She has 3 children at the school, but treats the nearly 400 other students as her own. She works part-time at the school and volunteers for the remainder of the day, and evening volunteering with the school operations and activities. Amy serves as a parent club secretary, attendance clerk, and activities coordinator. She works well with it all, in particular students with special needs, and is a valuable asset to the school. Thank you, Amy.
Kimberly Thied. Kimberly has spent numerous hours raising funds for those affected by the sinkhole, the sewer collapse. She worked on the Beer and Brats fundraiser held at the Lion Den in Fraser. This was also endeavor involving auctions and a dinner which raised more than $5,000, including a donation from the Lions of Michigan Service Foundation that was given to those affected personally. In addition to this worthy effort, Kimberly is president of the Fraser Lion Club, which involves leading the club in many activities, including a large yearly community carnival. Thank you, Kimberly.
First female
And
president.
for those of you who didn't hear while we were clapping, I apologize for interrupting, but it's the first female president of the Lions Club.
Is Karen Skillen here? Karen? I don't want to miss anyone. All right, thank you very much, District 12 volunteers. Thank you. Can you handle these?
Now we'll move on to District 12, which is the chairman of the board, Bob Smith's district. Dan Leopold. Dan, if you can come up. Dan leads the Friends of the Thomason Arboretum, a critical adjunct to the Thomason Arboretum Committee in Clinton Township. The Arboretum contains 25 acres of natural habitat in Michigan trees and ground plantings designed to recapture an earlier time in Michigan history, having implemented spring and fall plantings. Dan has added more than 100 new trees to an already 1,000 plus tree arboretum. Dan oversees nearly 200 volunteers, including students, and as he promoted Eagle Scout project, he also plans to execute the educational tent at the Township Annual Festival and Census. Dan uses his expertise to preserve valuable natural resources that are critical to the quality of the life of Clinton Township residents. Thank you, Dan. David Myers. David has been volunteering at the Macomb Literacy Partners since 2006. Over the last 11 years as a volunteer of literacy tutor for the 10 adult students, he has helped improve their reading, writing, speaking ability, marketability. In 2012, David became a facilitator at Macomb Literacy Program's ELS Conversation Group, meeting with students for 2 hours every Saturday morning to practice their new English language skills. He also lends a hand in the weekly Tuesday classes. In 2016, David became a member of the board of directors of the MLP, attending as many MLP events as he's able to make, including a tutor adult vital skills and help them live up to their full potential. David, thank you. Yvonne Ashmisky. Was I good? David can help me. All right, David, you got it. As a volunteer for the Cross Lutheran Church, Yvonne writes evangelical letters to welcome to first and second time visitors and has done so for years. She's also willing to pitch and answer the church phones with a cheerful voice when the church staff is on vacation. She takes care of the church indoor plants and trees, tending to the enhancement of the sanctuary as the liturgy season changes. Yvonne also cares for the outdoor grounds and gardens to make sure the church outward appearance provides a great first impression for the guests. She is dedicated to the community, willing to cook, serving, and cleaning up after every monthly community supper event and offering these same abilities at an off-site event as well. She makes herself available to comfort the grieving by participating in the funeral committee. She is the kind of person who sees a need, and before anyone can ask her, she takes the initiative to help. She is a valuable asset to the church community. Thank you. One more. David Lawyer. Okay. District 12.
Give me a second here, Jim.
The next district, District 13, Commissioner Leon Drolet. Is Brian Bobeck here? Brian, can I have you come up, sir? Brian is completing his 6th consecutive term as president of the Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 154, the largest VVA chapter in Michigan. In addition to overseeing all aspects of this chapter, as a president, he serves as an editor of the newsletter, serves on the honor guard, assists with their traveling memorial, and routinely speaks before school classes at various civic affairs throughout the county. Brian typically donates more than 1,500 hours a year in support of the veterans of Macomb County. In addition to the service at the VVA, he also volunteers with Meals on Wheels, delivering food to the county residents, and serves as a docent. Am I saying that right? Docent at the Lorenzo Cultural Center at Macomb Community College. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Alan Deagle. Alan, there you are. Alan has been a faithful member of St. Peter Lutheran Church and School since 2009. He is a devoted husband and father to 3 children, as well as a foster parent. Alan currently serves as chairman of the Board of Trustees. He puts in countless volunteer hours to make sure the church building and grounds are safe and secure. He provides ideas, direction, resources, and completes special projects to further St. Peter's ministry. Alan works with children and youth and is always eager to serve, which is inspiring and contagious to others. Thank you, Alan.
Is Cheryl Koenigson here? Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl's willingness to volunteer helps the efforts of the Salvation Army to support those in need in northern Macomb County. She can also be called upon at the last minute when volunteers are scarce, especially with the feeding program. She volunteers her time in a number of other programs too, such as the monthly distribution of Focus Hope commodities, organizing food and hygiene rooms, and assisting with the sorting of toys and distribution of Christmas toys. Cheryl always has a welcoming smile, and her personal demeanor is appreciated. Thank you, Cheryl.
All right. The next volunteer is a pair of volunteers, Christine and Norman Persinski. Here you are. Close. Christine and Norman are outstanding volunteers working as an usher team and green room hosts at the Macomb Center for the Performing Arts within Macomb Community College. They're an expert team who provides exemplary service to patrons and guests, arriving with smiles and helpful attitudes. Christine and Norman log more than 160 hours each year at the center, willingly take on new responsibility, offer suggestions, and they always exceed expectations. Christine and Norman, thank you.
Pauline Saltzman. Pauline has been an active member of the St. Michael Catholic community since 1977. While her children were growing up, she taught catechism programs, even while earning her master's degree in education. She currently volunteers as St. Michael's associate for the St. Vincent de Paul chapter and visits homes of individuals needing assistance with food, bills, and various other needs. She serves as co-chairperson for the Christian service, spending many hours on night duty during the Church McRest Week. She expertly handles the Giving Tree program every Christmas season, making sure that thousands plus tags requests are met. Pauline facilitates the skip program at St. Michael's, overseeing the pillowcases and blankets that are sewn for the children in pain. In addition, she actively participates in her sorority, Epsilon Sigma Alpha, doing additional charitable work in the community. Her many contributions are admired. Thank you, Pauline.
Janet Dunn. Oh, Janet. Janet has served as the secretary of the Friends of the Clinton-Macomb Public Library Board since 2003. The Friends organization has given in excess of $700,000 to the library to help underwrite programming, special projects, innovative technology items, sculptures, and more. Janet does an outstanding job of keeping track of the donations and of the business of the Friends monthly meetings, which are often lively. Janet has also been an outstanding supporter of the library as an elected official, encouraging everyone to become lifelong readers and learners. Janet has volunteered for the library book sales, other programs, and events. Thank you, Janet. All right, hand for our District 13 volunteers. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 5-minute recess to reorganize this room. And if you guys would like to take some pictures out in the hallway, you're more than welcome to. Thank you all very much for coming. If you'd like to stick around, stay. If you want to leave, I certainly understand. I'd like to call back to order the Thursday, April 27th full board meeting. Item number 9, approval of minutes dated April 13th, 2017. Need a motion to approve? So moved. Moved by Toko, supported by Commissioner Kleinfeld. Please vote. Do I have to vote on both of these? Nope. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, motion passes. Item number 10, public participation. Each participant has 5 minutes maximum. The first public participation is held to be related only to issues on the agenda. There will be a second public participation for other items. So please come to the mic, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes, sir.
Hello once again, Macomb County Board of Commissioners, full board, Joseph Hunt, 8306 Stanley, homeowner and taxpayer in the city of Warren. The item on the agenda is specifically the CDBG 2017 annual action plan, the executive summary that was presented in your finance subcommittee. I had the opportunity to go over to Augustus Coney Island and look at the small information in the light to actually see exactly where the distribution of the funds are going to each of the communities that are actually part of the Macomb grantee program under HUD. I'll re-echo my sentiments that the County of Macomb and the City of Warren should combine efforts, like a joint effort. I had mentioned earlier the EVIP program that the governor implemented, the 3-stage program, and part of the issue associated with openness and transparency, creating a dashboard. Component number 2 was actual cost-sharing initiatives between municipalities or the county government and the local communities. And I'll just reiterate that I feel that the City of Warren is actually utilizing a lot of its funds towards infrastructure projects where there is no derived benefit from paving a road, and we shouldn't be paying for health inspectors from our CDBG funds. But like I say, the matter does come down to a lot of the community development block grants when they were implemented, at least back when I remember back in the 80s, some 30 years ago, that they were always geared towards the private nonprofit groups. And I don't think it's fair that the groups that I mentioned earlier have to compete at the City of Warren and at the County of Macomb for these funds that are available. I think you should pool them together, and that way everything's unified from the county level. And as I had mentioned, this is nothing other than planning departments getting together, looking at the 2010 census numbers and probably being able to drive a lot more money for these private nonprofits. But I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay, any other members of the public wishing to speak? Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 11, correspondence from the Office of County Executive. We do not have any correspondence at this time. We'll move on to item number 12, Finance Committee recommendations. Any motion to move them in their entirety? Moved by Kleinfeld, supported by Duge. All please vote. Ouch. Item passes. Item number 13, new business. Any commissioners with any new business they would like to bring up? Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last night I attended my first community mental health board meeting, and I just wanted to let the board know that officers were elected last night, and the new officers are Kathy Vosberg is the chair, Joan Flynn is the vice chair, and Linda Bush is the secretary treasurer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Kraft. Happy to hear that. Yes, sir. Commissioner Sauger.
Yeah, I just want to announce there's a bunch of retired deputies here that I worked with for many years. But we lost a great friend of ours, Leroy Hoffman, who just died just the other day. And we all worked with him and loved him dearly. So on behalf of myself and the retirees, good luck to you up there, Leroy. You're a great man. Thank you.
Thank you, Marv. Any other commissioners with new business? Seeing none, I have a small piece of new business that has to do with, I'm sure, the reason that most of you are here tonight. I'm going to speak in just very briefly to the health care for retirees. And I can tell you all, at least through the general consensus of what I've spoke to all the members of the board, that there is never an intention, nor will there be an intention, to discontinue retiree health care for our retirees. You can probably see that best, at least through the board actions, in the bond that was issued 2 years ago for approximately $250 million to ensure that this retiree health care would continue. So I know that you have some things to talk to us about, but I do want to let you know that there are a lot of new commissioners here that really didn't have any idea that of the actualities of this lawsuit. But I can tell you that even talking with the executive, and I'm not speaking for him, but I'm telling you that I spoke with their office, that there is no intention, nor has there ever been, to eliminate retiree health care. So that being said, I am sure that there's going to be some members of the public that would like to talk. So item number 14 is public participation. If you would like to speak, please come up to the microphone. You have 5 minutes. Please identify yourself and give us your address. And we'll start with you, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is James Cowan. I live at 21365 Drexel in Clinton Township. Mrs. Lucido is my commissioner. I retired from the county in 2000, and in 2009, at the Christmas parties when we had our shock, when every elected official disappeared, and they left with this unknown speaker who told our then Medicare folks that they received a white envelope in the mail, and they no longer had county insurance, and they were being switched over to AMWIMS. And when you have, like, I'll be 62 this year. Back then when this happened, there was a lot of older people at that party. It was supposed to be a joyous party. It turned into worse than a funeral talked to our human resource director at the time, and he told us that they could change our policies anytime they want to, that we're no longer employees. Our contracts mean nothing, and they can change our insurance anytime they want to. At never any time was there any discussion about getting rid of our health care insurances. The problem was that they, stuff that we agreed upon in negotiations. I was command officer for 12 years, and I was the treasurer of the Command Officers Union for 12 years. And everything that we negotiated was always said, we know we take a lesser pay in salary, but just remember your lifetime benefits at the end, and which we all agreed upon. When we did at one time actually put a 1.5% of our pay raise into our health care benefit at a negotiation of one of our contracts. The problem is that the county at the time when we started the negotiations, when we started the, I'm one of the original 10 on the lawsuit. I'm the one that started it, basically getting everybody together, And we formed a group called MCARE 2009 because that's when it happened originally. And March 31st, we filed for the lawsuit of 2000. And the problem is that the cost savings the county's made, they themselves, Human Resource Director, the county's attorneys, said that it was passed along onto the backs of the retirees. Now, I have a good retirement, but the average retiree in Macomb County makes $16,000 or less. Now, you take, at the time, $4.2 million taken away from us health care benefits and give us a different policy, and those costs were added to our co-pays and medical bills and prescriptions. And over the years since this has happened, it's now at a savings of $24 million that has been passed along to the retirees. And that's what our complaint is. We worked lots of years. I was sheriff's deputy. I had a dangerous job. Most of my counterparts had dangerous jobs. I'm not saying that the ladies didn't have dangerous jobs, but we were cops. We got kicked, fought, sometimes shot at, sometimes they tried to stab us. But I came to work every day to do what I had to do to make the county safe. And all I want is, we've gone to the Court of Appeals 3 times. We're back again. And I just want this to get resolved. We started with 1,098 members of the class when it became a class action in March of 2000. And we've lost 401 now with Leroy dying. We're a closed class. Once we're done, we're done. Then you guys can do anything you want because you've always changed after, as of January 1st of, so was it 16? There's no pension no more. Everybody's got a 401 or whatever they have. And when the employees retire, like right now, my wife enjoys benefits. If I die before she does, she'll have health care benefits. But the new hires that come in after January 1st, only the employee will be covered. So we're just a small class. We just want to end it, fix it, and get on with our lives and not have to worry every year or every 2 years that we're having more costs jammed on our backs and our insurance is being changed and there's no communication about it. We get a letter in the mail, and that's it. And I'm sorry I rambled.
Sir, no, that's all right, sir. You're at 5 minutes, so I'll let you go if you have anything else important to say.
I have nothing further to say. I want to thank you all. And again, I know you're all new. The only one that I see is Mr. Sauger, who was my sergeant when he was working there. I was his deputy. And Commissioner Brown were the only 2 people that are still on the 2009 incident. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Please approach the podium, give us your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name's Connie Miller. I live in Harrison Township. Before I begin, though, I'd like to thank Commissioner Smith for your comments. It changes a little bit from my written speech, but since many of you are new, I think it will be beneficial to just continue to read it the way it's been written. County retirees filed a lawsuit against the county in 2010 after it unilaterally made cuts to medical benefits without our review and consent as required by contract. Those cuts imposed yearly deductibles and coinsurance, doubled office visit copays, and increased prescription costs. For retirees on fixed incomes, who often see their doctors more often than their families, that was a costly change. The case has dragged on for 7 years, while the county wastes tax dollars on attorney fees. We think most of you have been kept in the dark about it. Have you ever met with your attorneys? Ever seen or approved a bill? Stand up to them and ask why they've told the court that retiree health benefits end at the expiration of a retiree's contract. I know you said differently, Commissioner Smith, but this is what the attorneys you're paying have told the courts. Ask why they've told the court that retirees are not entitled to lifetime health care. That news shocked the retirees. We've always been told they were lifetime. It looks like somebody forgot to tell your attorneys. We're not making outrageous demands. We simply want what was promised us in return for our labor. We want to know that our medical benefits will be there when we need them. The county executive was quoted in the newspapers saying, "Promises made will be promises kept." During contract negotiations, HR often told us that instead of a big raise, we needed to remember those great lifetime benefits we'd get in retirement. Are you aware that your attorneys have completely contradicted what this board and the executive told the state of Michigan in that 2014 bond proposal? You told the state that retirees received lifetime health care. A sentence in the bond proposal reads, quote, "The county provides retiree health benefits to eligible county retirees and their eligible beneficiaries for their lifetimes." So why? Why would your attorneys tell the court they're not lifetime? County officials, Judge Druzynski, and 3 Court of Appeals judges all say that they are. So why are your attorneys saying the exact opposite? Are you being misled? Here's something else you might not know. This case was settled 4 years ago. Judge Druzynski, the facilitator, the retirees, Mr. McConaughey, the county's attorney at the time, all agreed that there was a settlement. Retirees conceded to everything that the county had asked for, even agreeing to accept those 2010 policy cuts, as long as there were no future cuts. Both sides also agreed to a $1.8 million damage award at that time. That seemed reasonable to both sides because the county had publicly reported that it saved about $4.2 million a year with the cuts, savings that came from shifting the cost to retirees. Once that agreement was reached, the judge issued a settlement order and closed the case. Then something strange happened. We don't know why, but McConaughey was replaced by the county's current lawyers, who filed an appeal, saying there was no settlement. Another contradiction by your attorneys. The case dragged on until 2015, when Judge Druzynski issued another court order, stating the benefits were lifetime, but that the county could make reasonable changes. Neither party liked that decision, and it went again to the Court of Appeals. Fast forward now to April 18th, 2017, only about 10 days ago. 7 long years after the case was filed, the Court of Appeals issued its unanimous decision, agreeing with the retirees' position. It said the county could not modify the scope and level of benefits without our consent, and that these benefits are lifetime. The appeals court remanded the case to circuit court for further proceedings consistent with their decision, including damages. So much wasted time, money, and effort, especially knowing that this was settled for a modest amount 4 years ago. I ask you to take your fiduciary duty seriously and ask some hard questions of your attorneys and the executive. Demand a meeting with them, as well as Mr. Herpich and Corp Counsel. Ask why this is still pending and why it wasn't settled a long time ago when retirees agreed to concessions.
Ma'am, you've reached your 5 minutes. I'll give you a few minutes to wrap up and
Okay, I only have another
just
paragraph.
a couple seconds. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Your attorneys might suggest that you file an application to appeal to the Michigan Supreme Court. Why not? They'll get paid even more money. But consider the ramifications. Less than 5% of appeal applications are accepted. If that court refuses to hear your appeal, this Court of Appeals decision, which I've made a copy for everyone, will stand. If that happens, the county could face considerably higher damage costs than were agreed to 4 years ago. Are you willing to take that gamble with tax dollars? Please do your job. Please read this Court of Appeals order. Do the right thing and end this. I think the wise, prudent, and reasonable thing to do is settle it now, once and for all.
Thank
and
you.
I have a copy for everybody.
Thank you. Why don't you grab it, Mike? Excuse me, ma'am. Just get it to him. He'll get it to here. It's right over there. And I can assure you that this will be certainly looked into. Thank you. Next member of the public. please.
Louise Bertolini, Clinton Township, Michigan. I was employed at the Friend of the Court. I want to thank all of you for your time and your effort, and hopefully, some of this documentation that Connie's prepared will help you understand some of the items that have been going on. And I thank you, too, for your kind words also, Mr. Smith. What I scrapped everything that I wrote because Connie covered everything so eloquently, so I'm not going to go over all these things. All I'd like to say is that the motivation for this class action suit was never financial, never. That item never came up in any of our meetings that we had prior to filing this case. It was to preserve what we had been promised. I was asked at my final day HR, Ms. Fisher asked me if I wanted to sign up for benefits for my spouse. I said, no, I don't. And she said, well, okay, that's fine, but I just want you to know in case you did have a spouse, because these are lifetime benefits. I mean, this is what went on in history, from the history of all the contracts that have been going on. And then all at once, the county says, no, you don't have a contract, which is very questionable. Anyway, and I'm also concerned, too, as a taxpayer, because I know litigation is not inexpensive. I have a daughter who's an attorney. I have other relatives who are attorneys, and I know litigation is costly, and this has gone on for so long. And as a taxpayer, that concerns me, too, and I think many other taxpayers out there are totally unaware of what this is costing. And it could have been settled, as Connie said, a long time ago. I encourage all of you, though, to read over all this documentation and make your own decisions, and don't be influenced by someone else. The other thing that I want to quote too, not only what Connie said that Mr. Hackle had been quoted in the newspaper. I was at the Christmas party of 2015, and one of my former coworkers, I was talking with him, was concerned about this issue. And she, asked, what are you going to do about it? And he, made some statements. And then again, he reiterated the same thing. Don't worry about your benefits. They're not going to be changed. A promise made is a promise kept. I was a witness to his statement. And then we went on for years after that, which is, this cost is astronomical. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next member of the public, please approach, give us your name.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine. Give us your name and address.
My name is Callan
Ernest.
Ernest Deschenberg, 2393 Birch Drive, St. Clair, Michigan. I live up there. I was a captain and an inspector, worked with Marv, worked with these people for the sheriff's office. I worked under 4 sheriffs, administrative staff member for 3 of them. If my sheriff didn't know the information that you should have known, it would have been my butt, because I was to disclose every information, every lawsuit, every problem we had. He had to know about it. Just like the guys that worked for me, they better let me know, because it was their butts. So you guys should have known. I think you probably were aware. Maybe it's not a popular topic to talk about now. What I'd like to say, Mr. Smith, or Chairman Smith, I adored your opening statements to the volunteers. If you take those same statements or that same information you gave and included employee versus a volunteer, I think you'd move each one of us, because that's what we did. All those jobs that you talked about, all those great people that were just here receiving, other than maybe the lady with the car head, which I'm not quite sure about. But those are the things that we did. We got paid for it. We got paid well. We were given promises. But if you just go back and read that same letter you had and include employee, we'd feel better about it. Again, everybody else has covered the same thing. But first, you guys should know what happened. It's your fiscal responsibility. Secondly, treat us like we should be treated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public wishing to speak? Mr. Hunt, Please tell us your name.
Joseph Hyundai 306 Stanley, homeowner and taxpayer, City of Warren. Basically to touch upon the retiree subject where the continuum of contracts of like all of a sudden been ignored. From what Connie had mentioned there, that was interesting detailing of the facts as far as the transition from the legislative form of government to the charter county form of government that began January 1st of 2011. However, I guess the issue comes down to the idea about ongoing litigation costing the taxpayers hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. The real issue comes down to is the statements by the executive, the decisions by the corporate counsel, and the letters sent by human resources. Those all fall under the executive branch. So it appears to me that the departments in the executive branch don't really have it together in communication with the retirees. Last year, when we were over at the Oakland University first floor meeting room, I believe it was during the budget session where I had come up with the little black folder, which was the comprehensive financial audit report of the fiscal year 2015. And there was the issue there regarding the separate audit of federal funds that also included the auditor, Plant Moran, had indicated that there was a problem, that there were no real up-to-date actuary reports. And now for some of you that know actuary reports, that's basically talking about those people that retire, the length of time that they'll live and the amount of benefits that they'll receive. And I find it very strange, getting back to the EVIT program, Part 3, was basically the calculation of legacy costs, the OPEB, which is the other post-employment benefits. And I guess the real question is on whether or not the County of Macomb has called up their old actuary people to get those actuary reports to figure out how much actually the taxpayers will be on the hook for years to come. But like I say, the $265 million bond and that borrowing of the $30 million from the tax reverted fund, it appears that there's a huge amount of money that you can borrow from the tax reverted fund, as we have seen with the Fraser sinkhole. But the issue does come down to is that everything that I've heard here regarding the situation that was agreed upon a long time ago to the current situation now is that we have the executive branch and its sub-departments not on the same page with the employees and the retirees. So that's something that perhaps the legislative body, separate elected officials, should look at as far as the separations of power, because, hey, why should all of a sudden it cost the taxpayers any money in ongoing litigation when it could be solved by getting everyone together at the same time?
Thank you, sir. Any other member of the public wishing to speak? Any other member of the public wishing to speak? Clerk Spranger, welcome. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Identify yourself, please, just for the record.
Karen Spranger, clerk of Macomb County. I'm here on 2 reasons. I have an issue being the new clerk in the Macomb County, and the issue goes to a move. There's a move to move my office and some of the employees. And in this transition of this move, I am aware that there is some issues of where we are going to be truly going. As the executive in the department head, to make the important decision, I'm going to ask for your input and suggestions and assistance. We started today with the workshop. And in the workshop, the awareness has been made, and I will submit the letters of my concerns, the issues that I have to address in a timely manner. Unfortunately, the executive branch and myself have a disagreement. This is where you come in. You're the third branch of the government that I believe can help resolve my rights under statutory law to make decisions. Also, to look at my statutory duties under the law to keep the records safe, to provide an adequate place where they are securely in a safe place where others cannot go in at free will. So it's important to move these records with care. Where they are currently is an issue. I've drawn it to the attention of the executive branch to help me correct that issue, and we're working on it together. It is my hope that this legislative body will come and visit and see my issue. Visually, it's important to understand where they are going to be moving vital records, also the Register of Deeds, there will be 3 buildings that I will be having offices in. And in the court itself, we have a dispute on where everybody is going to go during the move so I can stay functioning. I beg you, I encourage you to get involved and help resolve this dispute in a timely manner. And unfortunately, the time clock is ticking. I need your help before the decision becomes a legal issue. And I thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any other member of the public wishing to speak? Please identify yourself, give us your address, and you have 5 minutes.
This will be short. Rick Beachel, 7073 Palms Road, Ira, Michigan. I am a retired corrections sergeant, Macomb County Sheriff's Department. I just wanted to point out, since you've been provided a copy of the Michigan Court of Appeals, I guess the main thing here is if you're going to consider, or anyone or your attorney says, maybe we ought to appeal this, keep in mind that on the bottom page of page 2 of the decision, it states, our Supreme Court in Arbuckle versus General Motors recently observed that a union may represent and bargain for already retirees, but only with respect to non-vested benefits. By contrast, when an employer explicitly obligates itself to provide vested benefits, that promise is rendered forever, unalterable, without the retiree's consent. That means you would be asking the Supreme Court to reverse itself if you appeal to them. When they say vested benefits, and the Court of Appeals has already decided they're vested benefits. The Supreme Court will back that up too, and they're not going to change it unless you negotiated with us. After 7 years of litigation, I'm not ready to negotiate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Third and final time, any members wishing to speak? All right, closing public participation. Roll call, commissioners, sign in. Great. Okay, roll call's finished. We need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Duje, supported by Toko. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.